Hello, and welcome to another
episode of Tan Pants. We hope you enjoy our episode that we have for you today.
We each researched a not so random topic this time.
Yes.
This time we're all following a theme. I swallowed my tea wrong. But
I thought you were acting.
no, I was joking.
Okay. Acting status went up.
Oh yeah, my acting's all you gotta do is actually suffer, and then your acting's
naturally.
perfect.
That is how true art is made.
That's method acting, I believe.
Right.
But we're gonna talk about the moon.
Yes, the moon.
Specifically, what kind of moon?
Our moon.
Like the moon up there.
The moon that you see
Like-
every night.
What about
almost.
Jupiter's moon?
We're not gonna talk about that one.
We
'cause
don't
I
care about Jupiter's moon. Jupiter's moon could be dead for all I care.
Dude.
Well, technically, it is dead because it was never alive. So show some respect, for goodness sakes.
You don't know.
Goodness.
The whole planet could be like a living being.
Yeah. You ever
Really?
think about that?
We're like parasites or whatever.
Nah, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I don't suck dirt.
You suck dirt. That's a good insult.
NASA debunked by Josh Anderson says, I don't suck dirt.
Oh man. So we just thought we'd all talk about, some fun moon conspiracy things. Cause we at Tan Pants, we like talking about the fun conspiracy stuff. Cause it's fun to talk about.
Because we talk about them all the time.
All the time.
Practically.
Like hardly a day goes by without me saying, hey Josh, what's this fun conspiracy thing with Jeff Bezos?
Oh.
And Josh will say,
Oh, you know it.
Him and those weird eyes.
weird eyes, man. So Max, how about you kind of open us, set the stage for the moon?
Okay, so, I mean, put yourself back to the Kennedy era before he was shot,
All right.
Before everything went terrible.
Yes, so, well, actually, let's go just a little bit further
Okay.
to the ancient Babylonian times.
All right. Did they go to the
I'm
moon?
down.
So they built this in the Bible. There's a talk of this tower that the people were trying to build to reach God.
Right, yeah.
So
Yeah.
the tower went up so high, God said it wasn't right, and he scattered people,
Right.
all the people to
Confused the
four.
languages.
He confused the languages. They didn't know what he or she was talking about. They were like, "Who's you want?" So he put them all in China, and then
Wait, so that was China? That was supposed to be China.
He put everyone in China.
Max, you're going to get us in trouble.
I don't care. It was funny.
That was a little bit funny.
Okay, anyways, God scattered everybody to the four corners of the earth, right? So everybody's scattered. And then people got back together again, and they wanted to make the biggest machine on earth, which was the Titanic. And they said, a machine so big that God himself cannot sink it.
Yeah, they said that. That was that was in the papers.
Yep.
Man.
Yep, that was the big thing. They were like, it was humongous, the Titanic. It was huge. And it sank on an iceberg.
It sank quite dramatically.
Yes, it did. It crashed and sank, and that was the end of it.
They made a flute song to it.
So that was kind of like stage. Our first stage was kind of this giant tower. Second stage was this Titanic, and then the third stage is the space stage, which is the last stage.
You organize human history in those three stages.
Of course,
The tower, the Titanic, and the space.
of course. The final space stage is where we're at, and we all want to get to space.
Yeah, it was a pretty big deal because, the Soviets back in the day
Yep.
were like really booking it.
Oh yeah. So yeah, the big problem I have now, where I stand in my belief about the moon landing, I think it's a bit weird.
You think it's fishy,
I think it's fishy. I'm not
but you're not 100%?
I'm not prepared to say we faked it.
Okay.
Um
That's good because I'm on the opposite end.
right. I just think it's weird, some of the stuff that people bring up. Like, okay, so the Soviet Union were the first people to be in space. They sent the first animal into space, and then they sent the first man to space. In America, in the U.S. of A., people were like asking Kennedy, like, listen, the Soviets are really ahead in this space travel game. It's really putting a bad name in our repertoire.
People were scared too, because one of the big theories back in the day was the Soviets are going to float overhead and they're going to drop a bomb on us from space.
That's right. They were like, they have better weaponry than we do. They are way more advanced in space travel than we are. We're scared. So America up to this point had no experience in space except for one 16-minute space travel by a guy. And then he came back down and they were like, oh, yay, we went to space or whatever. And then Kennedy was like, he came out on the news really strong and he said, we're going to beat the Soviet Union and we're going to send a man to the moon. Up to this point, nobody had gone to, they were only like within the first Van Allen belt, which I forget how many feet or how many miles away from the Earth that is.
We'll talk about the Van Allen belts in a minute, but the first one is about 1,000 miles out.
Okay. So all space travel as we knew it at the time was within 1,000 miles from the Earth.
Well, it was, I mean, today you're pushing it to go 400 miles out.
Right.
I mean, back when the Soviets were orbiting, things like that, they were maybe 120 to 200 miles out.
Right. So, and we even have record to where astronauts were saying, listen, we're out too far, we're closing our eyes and we see like actual like sparks going back and forth. So they said, okay, the radiation is getting too much. You guys need to pull it back. So I just think that was space travel as we knew it was only within 1,000 miles of Earth.
And then Kennedy, that instance of them seeing sparks was the space shuttle days.
Right.
This is way after moon landing stuff.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So, and then Kennedy comes out very strong and he says, we're going to send a man to the moon.
Right.
We do this not because it is easy,
right?
Because it is hard.
Right, exactly. So he wanted to blow the competition out of the water when nobody was talking about putting a man to the moon. Nobody was saying this.
Yeah.
I was.
Clay was. I mean, I remember back
Clay
in the day,
was,
Clay was like, I'm going to get up there, man.
Yeah. So
I was building a ladder.
Step one.
Oh, man. But I just think it was just kind of odd that they weren't like, okay, well, let's just send a couple of space shuttles into space and let's do, a couple hours in space and let's do another spacewalk. Let's just kind of meet the, Soviet Union where they're at. And no, they were like, let's go to the freaking moon.
Well, yeah, the announcement made by Kennedy, you got to keep in mind, he's a politician.
Yeah, he's not a scientist.
He's president. And he has two worries right now. Worry number one, he wants to be reelected.
Right.
Worry number two, the people are scared.
Yeah, everybody was scared. That was all the questions. Well, I don't know about all the questions, but a lot of the questions he was being bombarded with was, how are we going to best the Soviet Union in this space race?
And probably the biggest thing he could think of is getting to that moon.
Yeah, so he went ahead and played the highest card he had and said, we're gonna beat the Soviets and we're gonna put a man on the moon. And America has had a history of sneaky battle plans in the past.
We have?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We've set up these inflatable tanks in World War II to draw attention away from ourselves, making it think there was more of a military presence in one place than, the other.
Blow-up tanks.
Blow-up tanks.
I wonder if there are any still around that people have.
Maybe. That'd be kind of fun.
This is a tank from World War II that was a fake tank.
Yeah. And then we've set up fake satellites to bounce signals off of missiles that were being launched and stuff. And so, I mean, very good strategy stuff. But it just seems weird that we all of a sudden said, okay, we're going to the moon. A big jump.
It is a humongous jump, and it's a jump that even today the scientists are like,
yeah,
we can't do this.
Yeah.
For some reason.
So they had to fool the Soviet Union to making them think that we're better than them and we're way more advanced than they are.
Yeah.
But we are better than them.
Of course. But they also have to fool the American people because, you got to appease the masses.
Yeah, that's a really weird thing. If you are going into the moon things with the intention of subterfuge, why would he also involve the American people in it? Why would he also try to trick them?
Right, because we were really scared at the time. We were going through a big war, and the American people were scared that the Soviet Union would drop a bomb on us. So they needed a plan.
So that's
the conspiracy theory hypothesis.
Here's another kind of angle at that. So let's say, Kennedy sees that 16-minute flight.
Right.
And he says, I think we could do it. Could we do it? He looks at his scientist guys. Could we do it? And they say, we could probably do it. And so he announces, we're going to do it. So Kennedy, as you guys know, he gets shot.
Yes, he does.
Before he even sees this come to fruition.
Yep.
He never saw the completion of this mission.
Wasn't it Richard Nixon that completed it?
Nixon.
Yeah.
Was it Nixon?
Nixon
think it was Nixon,
Nixon was the guy
that actually saw through till Apollo 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to just kind of put out on the table. It's fishy. It's weird. I don't understand it, but I'm not prepared to say it was all fake or a fraud.
Well,
I like to hear the opposing side, and the listeners can form their own opinion. Of course, this is just, all kind of fun conspiracy stuff too that you'll hear. But
Max,
what?
The moon
is
not real.
Okay.
Explain this to me.
No.
Oh, I thought you were beginning your topic.
No.
I mean,
So let me kind of explain why people today say one of the main reasons why they say going to the moon right now is impossible.
okay.
So before all the moon stuff happened, there was this discovery that the Earth's magnetic core creates these magnetic fields around the Earth called the Van Allen belts, named after the guy who discovered them in his belt.
Right.
So Van Allen had two belts, and
He was so fat he needed
fat.
two.
but there are two of them, and it takes about, going at the Apollo 11 speeds, an hour and a half to go through them.
Okay.
And what's tricky about these metallic fields is it collects radiation from the sun, and that radiation is very powerful, strong stuff. If it hit Earth, if it hit us down here, it would hurt a lot.
Okay.
Our bodies do not like it. But these magnetic fields capture all that and kind of disperse it and hold it.
So magnets can hold radiation.
Aha.
To an extent. So
Why don't we just make our spacesuits out of magnets?
That would be very bad, actually. So
I'm stuck.
So what happens? So the radiation, the kind of radiation it's charged ions. And charged ions, when it hits metal, it has reaction.
And it sticks.
It doesn't really stick.
That's how magnets work, right?
Well, when a charged ion hits metal, it flashes and makes an X-ray.
Oh.
When these astronauts in the space shuttle were reporting flashes in their eyes, with their eyes closed, those were ion particles hitting the metal of the ship, hitting the metal of their suits, passing through their skulls, and hitting their retinas.
Oh, wow.
And so the mission control's like, lower your altitude a little bit, get away from that stuff. So,
and also everything seems to turn green. I don't know why, but I think this is bad.
Yeah, so if you go through this field, you're basically being cooked a little bit.
Okay.
And your chances of getting, a fatal dose of radiation is about 50-50.
Oh.
And there are two of these things you got to go through. So one way to kind of, avoid this stuff from hitting you is to put lead around your ship.
Right, which makes this spacecraft like super heavy.
Very, very heavy. And just, there's no way. I mean, that rocket was already like 30 stories tall.
Yeah. was
It
huge.
weighed as much as a battleship. They couldn't add anything else. They had to argue with NASA about, do we have enough room to bring back rocks from the moon when we get there?
Yeah.
And so the idea of putting all this stuff on the rocket, which, of course, if they actually did, go all the way to the moon, then this would be an argument for that.
Right.
That the fact they didn't put lead on the fake rocket. Because if you're making a fake rocket, you can put whatever you want on it. If it's a
Right.
real rocket, it has to actually go up, then, But anyway, so the Van Allen belt, today, NASA says they're trying to figure out the radiation problem.
Right.
You can find videos of NASA scientists, talking about the Van Allen belt. There's a dude who wrote, the same guy who wrote The Martian, Andy Weir, and he's kind of really respected in the science community. He was a programmer who in his spare time was writing a story about a guy who gets stranded on Mars. And, a lot of people have seen the movie. A lot of people have read the book.
Yeah.
And a lot of scientists really like his book. They got a lot of stuff right. And Andy Weir had to think of a sci-fi solution in his newest book, Hail Mary, about a guy who flies out into space to save the Earth from some kind of algae thing happening to the sun.
Huh.
He had to make up a sci-fi solution to shield everyone from radiation within the ship.
Okay.
In the book, kind of a spoiler, but when he gets to where he's going, there's another spaceship from an alien civilization who didn't understand the radiation problem. And there's only one alien left alive on the ship because they didn't shield their ship properly.
Ah.
Losers.
Stupid aliens.
Stupid aliens. But scientists today say, we can't get past these Van Allen belts. So
Right.
how in the world did we do it back in the 60s?
It's called grit.
Grit, man.
It's easy. They just didn't exist back then.
They had their Wheaties that morning.
They had a lot of Wheaties.
They took a Flintstones gummy vitamin.
Yeah, man.
You only need like a quarter of that thing to get through. They took the whole thing.
They chugged it, man.
They chugged Wheaties?
Yep. And the vitamins together.
It sounds like a very bad idea.
Same bowl. That was the only way to get through.
Tan Pants presents Improv Pantry. On this week's show, out in the vast emptiness of space, Martin's updating the Twitter.
Dear Twitter, die.
Lennon's talking to robots.
I wish I could speak your language. I really do.
And Jeb's driving the boat.
Wait, boat?
Well, you call it a boat.
Do you call it a boat?
My boat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that thing.
Remember in Firefly it says, you want to fly this boat?
That was Firefly. That's a fictional TV show.
It was funny. He called the spaceship a boat.
All right.
Right, because the spaceships.
We'll go with it.
So this spaceship is floating just above the moon, and you guys have to land.
I think we should just all throttles up and landing gear down, baby.
Jeb, what do you think about that plan?
I didn't go to school to fly a spaceship.
That's okay. We have robots.
right.
The robots-
That's what they told me the robots would do it.
The robots both give each other a fist bump.
That's right. They're cool.
The two robots kind of wheel over to where Jeb is sitting, and they take the controls from him.
Right.
This is a good idea.
And his chocolate.
They also take his chocolate.
Okay. Fine.
They can't eat it. They just rub it all over their face.
Yeah, robot number 2 is just rubbing it where its mouth might be if it had a mouth. Lyndon, give me a number between 1 and 5.
6.
That's not a number between 1 and 5. You want to go with that?
3.
Okay. So with some shaking and bouncing, the robots land the spaceship, land the boat on the moon.
All right.
But the landing was kind of rough.
Okay.
And some of the equipment you guys need is now broken.
Oh, no.
So you get your message, your mission from NASA or whatever it is. They want you to go get a rock.
We're from the USSR.
You're from the USSR. You guys are the Russian astronauts.
What?
They're called cosmonauts.
You guys are cosmonauts, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's cool. That sounds cooler.
I
Hey.
wish I would have known this at the beginning. I would have changed my whole accent.
Okay, Lennon. So the cosmonaut, you got to go get a rock.
So, here's the sitch. We're gonna go and suit up, and then I'm gonna jump out, dolphin dive style.
What?
Dolphin dive style.
You're gonna dolphin dive out of the ship?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Might
dolphin
break
dive.
something.
Okay.
I mean, it's quite a fall from the landing down.
Yeah, but get this. You can float, all right? It's the moon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because impact is...
Yeah, it's lower.
Okay. So
I saw it on a TV show before. It was really great.
so Lennon puts on his space suit and stuff. Give me a number between 1 and 5.
2.
Okay. So you approach the exit. You're ready to jump. So tell me exactly what you do.
Squat position.
Okay.
Hands together,
Naturally.
like prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Thrust forward with hands outward.
Okay. So what happens is you do in fact jump forward,
Okay.
but as you are in the air, you notice that there is a definite absence of weightlessness, and you pretty much just flop on the surface of the moon.
Ooh, that probably is
And
not very good.
It hurt.
Ouch.
The wind's knocked out of you. So, Martin, you're watching this from the window as you're kind of updating the Twitterverse. What do you say?
Are you okay?
I hit a rock!
This-
Really pointy rock!
But there's no rocks on the moon. It's all cheese.
What do you call this? Oh, it's my foot!
Oh, my. Are you sure there's no cheese?
My foot!
Your foot's quite messed up.
Because I didn't pack any food because I thought we'd get the cheese.
So, Martin, what do you want to do now? Jeb is kind of off with the robots doing things. Do you want to go out and help Lennon in some way, or?
All right. Don't worry, Lennon.
Fine, I'll get off
I know what to
Twitter,
do.
Come down there.
I had a horse once.
I'm not a horse. Okay. I think my foot is backwards and underneath me somehow.
Then if you're not a horse, then why the long face? But
That's it!
Okay.
I quit!
You quit?
all right.
I want to go to Earth again.
Give me a number between 1 and 5.
Wait, what is this for?
You have to give me a number between 1 and 5 now.
What are you gonna make me do?
You have to give me a number.
Give me a number.
Okay. 1.
Okay. As soon as you say, I quit, a trap door opens beneath you.
No.
And you fall. But you don't fall all the way. You catch yourself.
Do I break my other foot?
No. Your broken foot is dangling beneath you. But you've successfully kept yourself from falling the rest of the way down.
Okay.
That's good.
Guys, I think I'm in a worse position than I was before.
Jeb, as you're watching Martin and Lennon outside deal with this new problem, the two robots beside you grab your arms.
It's like, hey, guys, isn't that a little extreme?
They begin to drag you away from the viewing screen and are going toward a closet.
It's like, I sure hope there's AC in there.
Are you gonna do anything? Just
Well, I
Josh,
don't know.
fight the robots.
Well,
Fight the machine.
They've done nothing wrong.
You have
I've
to
done
do-
nothing wrong.
Okay.
What
You
if
took
they're trying to
kickboxing, right?
do
you
something?
have been shoved into the cabinet and the cabinet
right.
door is closed.
Poor cabinet.
Okay, back outside, Lennon and Martin. What are you gonna do? Lennon's like in a hole.
Just
Hey,
leave
Lennon,
me.
Are you okay?
Just leave me to die.
Okay. I'll go see what Jeb's doing.
Okay.
Hey, Jeb.
Yeah,
How's it going?
it's good.
Where are you?
I'm in the closet.
So
I understand.
as you walk in, Martin, the robots grab you too. What are you gonna do?
Hey, what are you guys doing?
The robots look at you with no expression because they're robots.
Oh.
One of them still has chocolate all over its face.
Right.
Stop it, guys. There's cheese out there.
Give me a number between 1 and 5.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
3.
Okay. The robots, they consider to look. they consider this to look for cheese outside.
That was an almost good persuasion.
Just for a moment. But that is enough for you to free one hand.
All right. I free my hand and then I grab the other robot and throw it into the other one.
Okay, give me a number between 1 and 3.
2.
You do exactly that. You pick up the robot with your Super Martin strength and your with all of your Twitter expertise. Your thumbs are very strong.
You're a keyboard warrior.
You're a keyboard warrior, and you destroy those robots.
wow. Now we don't know how to take off.
Lennon, we're coming back to you. You're still in a hole. What do you want to do?
So can I examine this hole?
Sure. You look down, and it's kind of just a dark square shaft going straight down. But it looks like there might be some kind of curve at the bottom, like almost like a slide.
Ooh, a slide. I just enjoy the ride. I let go.
You just go down the slide on the moon into the dark.
Moon slide.
I mean, who else in history is going to be able to do this? Moon
Okay.
slide.
So,
You might be history.
oh,
We're going to the second
oh,
track.
this is so beautiful. So,
The moon slide, baby. Let's go.
Lennon's going down that moon slide, and life is great and wonderful. But then you realize it's starting to get very, very warm.
Why? I thought the space was so cold and this is kind of warm. It's kind of nice. Like a hot tub or a really warm Walmart.
Ew.
You turn one last corner and you tumble out into a studio with studio lights and microphones and set dressing and all this stuff. Josh, you can turn the music down a tad.
It's pretty loud.
It's so loud.
Okay.
It's pretty good. There we go.
Yeah.
And James Cameron.
And James Cameron's there.
Hey, James. What's up?
Oh, it's me, James Cameron. This is how I assume he talks. I've never really heard him talk before. Hey, I'm James Cameron. Hey,
Did I win?
you've won, my son.
I won the game.
I've dressed up like Willy Wonka today for this exact occasion.
Do I get the star like Mario Party 8?
Heck no. Instead,
Come on.
You get here's a check for $17
And a Wiimote.
and a Wiimote. You can take it to the nearest food store and get whatever you want within $17.
I look at James Cameron with my eyes glowing. Okay.
We're going back to Jeb now. Jeb, you're in his cabinets.
I'm going to walk out of this closet.
You open it up and you strut out into the air.
Man, it feels like air.
You see Martin. He's like, he's dusting off his hands and he's kind of getting the rest of the robot parts out the door.
I say, Martin, what the heck? You busted our robots.
Dude, it touched me.
Oh, that's understandable.
So, you both notice that Lennon is no longer outside. He's gone down whatever that slide is.
Well, it doesn't matter. He quit.
That is true. He did quit.
Yeah, he quit.
So, what do you guys want to do now?
All right, let's get the rocks. We'll go home. Tell him Lennon died.
Yeah.
And then we'll get our medals.
Okay, and with that, the two astronauts jet off into the air, and they
Yes.
leave Lennon with James Cameron.
Jetpacks?
Your spaceship has a jetpack, technically, I guess. Really big jetpack.
Right.
So they go home, and Lennon lives with James Cameron on the moon. Yeah. And that concludes Improv Pantry.
Should we continue with the podcast?
Yeah,
eh?
what is the moon made out of?
I think it's made out of moon.
Oh, yeah?
I think it's made out of.
Toes.
Let me guess.
I'll give you...
Stardust. Ziggy Stardust.
Ooh.
So, according to this source, the crust of the moon is composed of oxygen, silicon, magnesium, iron, calcium, and aluminum.
Ah.
So like a you
It's not
take
calcium.
you take a what are the cookies that come in the foil?
Cookies.
Cupcakes.
I don't know. You go to the store, you off the shelf, you open it up. There's like that foil you gotta peel back to eat the cookies.
Oreos?
Like Oreos. So like the moon
Yeah.
is crushed up Oreo packages.
Oh.
Like the whole package, not just the Oreos.
Listen, the moon has calcium. Drink the moon, you get strong bones.
Oh,
There's
okay.
aluminum too.
But you also know that cheese is made out of milk.
And milk has calcium.
It's true.
Yeah, and calcium. The crust of the moon and cheese have things in similar. They're both matter,
They're both matter and they both have calcium.
and they're both kind of the same color.
Ooh. No, they're not. That's very, I would not eat cheese that
Well,
color.
you know, if cheese was out up there for a long amount of time, it might age a bit.
Hey, why do they
Lose
call it
its
the
color.
Milky Way?
I'm trying to figure out if Neil Armstrong was allergic to cheese.
Neil Armstrong, out of the 11 pictures they took, they only took 11 pictures. Out of the 11 pictures they took, Neil Armstrong's in only 2 of them.
Yeah.
And he's not eating cheese in them.
He's not eating cheese in any of them.
There you have
And
it.
picture number 1, you know the famous picture of the astronaut just standing there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you see the reflection of the other astronaut in his visor taking the picture?
Yeah, if you zoom
Yeah.
in and re-enhance, it's a piece of cheese.
No, if you zoom into the visor and see that other astronaut, that wrinkly astronaut in the reflection is Neil Armstrong.
Wait, so it was a double?
So
His
Neil Armstrong
twin?
took a picture
No,
of
no, no.
himself?
I'm the one small
It was a
step,
selfie.
The one small step for man guy
Yeah.
is only in 2 pictures. The
Okay.
first picture, he's just a reflection in someone's visor. And the second picture is taken with one of the low quality cameras on the outside of the lander
Yeah.
of them helping set up the flag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would assume, you know, if you're only going to be out there for a little bit and you know you can only take 11 pictures,
Okay.
you would at least get the one small step for man guy in a good picture.
They were too
Or
excited,
a group
Isaac.
photo.
A group photo, for goodness sake.
They were too excited, Isaac.
Maybe they didn't
weren't
have
photo-
photos back then.
It's because they didn't send photographers up into space.
They sent NASA men. They sent the test pilots.
To really understand the subject, we have to have it like childlike faith, you know? So
Okay.
I actually stumbled across this article
Are you about to go deep?
from a bunch of questions, answers from a bunch of children. Like, I guess it was the school asked.
So hang on. So
They asked them, is the moon made of cheese?
okay.
And so I grabbed a few of the funny ones.
Okay.
So
All right,
this
let's
one
hear it.
kid says, yes, the moon is really made out of cheese. When astronauts go to the moon, they eat some of it because it is cheese.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Astronauts make a sandwich, they go to the moon and get cheese for their sandwich. Everybody likes cheese unless you're allergic to it.
I mean, mechanics go to the garage to get cheese for their sandwiches.
Right.
So it just makes sense.
tables to get their cheese.
It just makes sense that astronauts go to the moon.
if I eat cheese, I gotta go to my workplace. I work at the toll booth. I need to go get my cheese.
I'm a computer scientist. I got to go to my server to get my cheese.
It comes right out of the disc tray.
Yeah.
I'm a politician. I get my cheese from you.
Oh, wow.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Another kid says the moon is gray and round and fat because the moon is a big planet. Is the moon made of cheese?
I support this kid's
Is the moon made of cheese? Question mark. No, because cheese would float away.
Obviously.
The moon has holes and cheese does not have holes.
This poor kid hasn't seen, you know,
Well, he's
a lot of
probably
cheese.
he's probably a really funny kid.
Well, he's also probably like 3 years old or 4 years old.
Yeah, he's probably really funny too.
It's like, come on, the cheese would fly away.
The cheese will
Come
fall
on.
away.
Yeah, and the moon is not made of cheese because if it was made of cheese, a rocket landing on the moon would have melt the cheese.
That is true.
That's actually
That is a really good point.
now this kind of comes to another theory about the moon landing thing.
Really?
So that lander,
Yep.
it has a rocket on it.
yeah.
yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So that lander's coming in really fast on the moon, right? And you need to shoot that rocket so you don't splatter over the moon.
Yeah.
But all the pictures on the moon, there's no burn markings beneath the rocket. There's no dust in the air. The foil pads of the feet have no dust in them.
Maybe they just got it perfect.
Little rocks and pebbles are still scattered around. There's no evidence that a massive rocket burned the ground to such a degree to slow down the lander.
And I have something to add to that because I think the moon recovers itself.
Recovered itself?
Like it heals itself.
Because it's alive.
Because this one kid says, I think the moon is made of cheese because at night we see half of the moon in space. So that means that an alien might have eaten the other half of the cheese and left. Then during the day when the moon is not out, the moon recovers again and becomes full.
These kids know.
So, Clay, what have you brought?
Well, mine is a crazy story from infinityexplorers.com.
So will
that
this
like
will this
Internet
conclude?
Explorers?
Will this
Oh, it's
conclude
better.
the whole topic of the moon landing?
No.
Will this be the deciding factor?
I think so.
No.
Come on, man.
Oh man.
A former U.S. Air Force member, Niera Isley, claims that she worked on a secret moon base. A former member of the U.S. Air Force radar tracking operator, Nerea Isley, stated that she was forced into slavery on a secret moon base camp.
What?
She recalls being abducted multiple times.
By aliens? Or by NASA men?
Maybe. Maybe not. An unexpected event that took place in 1980 turned Nerea Torella Isley's life upside down. Nerea was traveling along with her colleagues for a mission at the Tonopah Test Range. During their flight, suddenly the aircraft in which Nerea was traveling encountered a glowing UFO that maintained course alongside them. The team was instructed by the ground control to get a radar lock and intercept the flying saucer.
Sounds like some pretty advanced stuff right there.
Yeah.
I mean, radar lock.
Radar lock, glowing.
Hey, you know that button over there next to the coffee maker?
Radar.
know
Can
that-
you press that button real quick?
It's not the radar unlock button. It's the radar lock button.
Don't worry, it just releases
It's just
meth into the air.
Track of the object.
So they start seeing stuff.
All right.
It just keeps track of the object, for safekeeping.
That's right.
Yeah. So as the aircraft landed, all the members who boarded the craft were taken into custody by one of the Air Force's covert branches.
Because it was probably one of their fault.
In her book, Facing the Shadow, Embracing the Light, she described her unpleasant and prolonged experience. The former member of the U.S. Air Force had been abducted 8 to 10 times over the course of several months. After the abduction, Nerea Isley was taken to a secret base camp located on the dark side of the moon.
A secret alien
Moon base.
on the dark side.
Wait, how did she get there again?
Aliens.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if they meant like it happened 8 to 10 times over several months or if each abduction was several months.
Oh.
Hmm.
It just happened a lot.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
More than one time.
I feel like this is an X-Files episode.
Yeah.
just about. According to Nerea, the base was owned by strange reptilian beings.
Whoa.
However, the operators were human personnel. She contended that many other humans were kept at the base against their will, just like Nerea. She said, I was very poorly fed and worked hard during the day cycle, operating some kind of electronic equipment for excavation at times, and doing physical manual labor at others, such as lifting and stacking boxes.
But honestly, this seems like a pretty sweet job.
Well, I mean,
You get to work on the moon.
so you're taken to the dark side of the moon, and when you're there, you're not fed very well. You're not treated very well.
Yeah.
And then you have to operate electrical excavation things and stack boxes. And then they take you back to Earth. And
Sounds
then they're
like,
like, you know what? We need someone to stack. Go get that lady.
I know
So-
that's what I was wondering in my head. It's like, so the aliens went through all this trouble to get this one lady to stack boxes. Something doesn't add up.
Why would they send her back?
She was looked down upon as an object of experiments and was inhumanely treated. She stated that the medical experiments were performed by Greys, the
Yeah, the gray.
normal
Yeah,
ones. Yeah.
generic alien-looking thing.
Maybe you should explain the grays to our listeners.
Okay, listener. A gray alien is like your normal alien you see.
The skinny
All
body, big head,
Yeah, I see
big,
those.
big black eyes.
Yeah, the ones you see all
Yeah,
the time.
the ones you see.
Yeah.
Yeah, those ones you see.
Yeah.
Josh, are you okay?
No.
Okay, get this part. The next sentence. Meaning that the root of the conspiracy steeps deeper than we imagine.
Whoa.
I can imagine pretty.
Well, I
big.
mean, already this is a pretty deep conspiracy. If we have humans and grays and reptiles all on the moon together,
Yeah.
kidnapping people to stack
So they
boxes,
actually call
this
this
is
sounds
a
kind
big
of
problem.
weird. Sounds kind of weird. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The process of abduction and experimentation went on for months before being eventually released. However, she is convinced that she wasn't set free without first being subjected to a memory wipe. In fact, she says that an acute absence of memories from that period tipped her off that she might have been victim of an abduction. For a period of 3 months in 1980, Isley had no memories, although at the time she was working at the U.S. Air Force.
So did she like disappear?
No. No.
She just has no
okay.
memories working.
Yeah.
Like
This might
What-
sound a little
what-
rude, but was she on pot?
Was
I
she
don't know.
doing crack?
well, hang on. So we know the CIA,
Talk to aliens all the time.
no, they gave their employees LSD without them knowing.
What, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
These were experiments going on, during the
Well-
Cold War.
So I've heard.
No, this is actually, they've released documents that have said as much. People have confessed to doing it.
I have them on video.
I have them on video.
So, I mean, if she's working for the Air Force, who's to say that she wasn't exposed to some kind of weird agent that made
I don't know.
her see things and lose her memory? Because she's saying she remembered these things after noticing that she had no memory of that time.
That's a little sketch.
That is sketch.
Does that happen when you don't remember things and then you...
Well, I think what's about to happen is she's going to go to a hypnotist, and they're going to go, she's going to remember things with a hypnotist.
Yeah. She said, I was scared. I knew I had to get back to my daughter, so I was pretty compliant. I just didn't want to do anything that would get me killed. Discouraged and hurt by the time she was lost, Nerea Isley underwent hypnosis and recovered her suppressed memories.
Yep, that's what they all do.
It seems that the attempt at wiping the memory was unsuccessful. There are many other abductees who are convinced that most, if not all, abductions are actually performed or supported by military forces worldwide. One of the popular conspiracy theories calls these operations MILABs, or military abduction, and hypothesizes that such abductions and traumatic experimentations are way more common than we think. Nerea Isley and her peers suggest hypnosis theory to anyone who experienced long periods of missing time, though Nerea Isley brought little evidence to support her testimony. Besides her testimony, she did bring up several interesting points. The presence of a joint reptilian gray human secret base on our moon is scary, and the abduction phenomenon is alarming to say the least. These base camps being run by humans is horrifying. The perspective of unwillingly carrying memories of being forced into slavery and routinely experimented on. And then there's just like a dash, and it says the seed of paranoia. That's the end of the sentence.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. It says, well, if what Nerea Isley says is true, then we are all living in a web of lies that is spun by our own people.
If the aliens are teaming up with humans to experiment on humans, I would imagine the aliens could just say, hey, do you guys have any medical journals about how you guys work?
It's like,
Sure, here you go. Thanks.
yeah.
Well, maybe they don't trust us. They're like, I don't trust you.
We want to try it ourselves.
Yeah.
But what do they want to experiment on? Like, I mean,
I
it's
don't know.
pretty simple. Humans breathe and talk.
It's kind of crazy there.
Kind of crazy.
Kind of crazy.
There's only one way to find out. We must join the Air Force.
And see if we're asked to abduct people.
Yes.
They only let smart people in the Air Force.
What?
Well, I mean, she worked for the Air Force. She was a radio operator for the Air Force, correct?
Yeah.
So I mean, this is a person that isn't an idiot.
Yeah.
She helped with the radio stuff with the Air Force.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. She's kind of crazy.
I mean, she has a crazy story. I'm pretty sure none of this actually happened to her, but something did happen, and her memories were repressed. She's lost, time.
I do not trust anybody. I mean, if you go to somebody and say like, hey, I can't remember anything past this certain point, and then expect them to fill in the blanks, like, how could you trust anybody like that?
Well,
They'll just say, well, I think you've been abducted, and this is your story now.
I think you went to Coachella.
Yeah,
of course, that's what happened.
I think kissed a Komodo dragon.
Wow. So, between, talking about, what the moon's actually made of, and secret alien bases run by people who can't remember things, and the Van Allen belt, and
Our jealousy for the Soviet Union.
fear and jealousy for the Soviet Union. What do you guys think about the moon? Do you think it's cool?
That's pretty cool.
Oh
Yeah, sure.
Moon's pretty neat. Thank you for joining us on another wonderful episode of Tan Pants.
We hope you guys learned something. We hope you. I hope it just it made your day. Yeah.
Don't forget to like, subscribe. You can message us on Twitter. You could also, what's it called? Patreon.
Yeah,
You
Patreon.
could donate to us on Patreon if you wanted to.
If you wanted to. And a shout out to our Patreons, Naven Jr. and the Big Tyne.
Do you have a third
And-
one?
He doesn't want to be mentioned, but we got a new one.
It didn't be mentioned?
All right,
he does.
Mystery Man.
We have a mystery so far.
We do this for you guys.
We'll call him Baby Munchkin.
And Baby Munchkin. Thank you
Baby
for
Munchkin.
supporting us, Baby
Thank you.
Munchkin.
We do this for you guys so that we can do this for you guys.
Yeah.
That's why we do this for you guys.
That's right.
All right. Later.